How you doing, everybody? It's Wednesday the 3rd of March 2010. Hope everybody had a nice day. Beautiful day here in Ireland. Cold but beautiful. It's in the evening here, and I just want to deal with a couple of things that have popped up, and they're in a newspaper article. Just reading them there after at tea time this evening. A couple of them jumped out at me. Two articles from the Independent, our local newspapers here, daily newspapers, the Irish Independent, and the third one is from ABC News, and it's from the United States, and they're all financial articles, and I put the links to them up there, so they're very straightforward to follow. The first one is basically, it tells you that thousands of homeowners are in mortgage arrears. It tells you 28,000 homeowners are now 3 months behind with their mortgage repayments, and these are official figures from the state Department of Finance. Okay, and the central bank, and we sort of hinted at this like at the end of last year, beginning of this year, what these would be, which is interesting to see them actually come to fruition. Horrendous for the people that are involved in them, but as it says at the bottom of this article, which is the real insight into this whole business, things are going to get worse, because we already have AIB saying yesterday that they're going to ramp excuse me, mortgage interest up, and if the European Central Bank puts bank interest rates up, it'll have a further effect on this. So instead of it being like, okay, we're now at the end of February, beginning of March, 28,000 homeowners, what is it going to be at the end of the year? So excuse me, that'll give you an idea of what's going on. So it just reads bad, and there's lots of other facts and figures in it, but that's the main one. And the one of the other facts is very interesting. Tells you that nearly 800,000 household mortgage accounts are out in Ireland at the moment, and they represent 118 billion. So that'll give you an idea of what's going on. There's lots of other facts and figures. It just makes for interesting reading. Okay, and try not to get too depressed, as I say at the end of it. But then the next article is a fascinating one. It's it's by one of our sort of rogue, or what do you call him, pragmatic economists, a fellow called David McWilliams. He's a nice fella. I like him. He's a bit flippant at times and all the rest of it, and he's lots of people don't like him. I think he's a bit too arrogant, but he says it like it is, and he's just a private. He's just a guy with an economics degree, and he writes freelance for newspapers, and he just says it like it is. He don't take any prisoners, and he's not singing off any state hymn sheet or anything like that. He's not trying to get elected to the doll or any of that stuff. He's not doing any of that stuff, right? So he just says it like it is, and basically what he says is that Anglo-Irish Bank, it's a disaster, and it's our disaster, and it's like our Stalingrad. And he tells you all about Von Paulus's army outside. That's what made me, because I like view everything in a historical context. So I was fascinated by the way he drew the parallel between the Von Paulus army thing outside Stalingrad and in the beginning of the winter in 1942, and what happened to them, and what's going to happen to us if we continue throwing money into this. It's a black hole. That's what it is. It's the big black hole, and we're just throwing billions into it. So have a read of it. It's fascinating. Gives you just a different slant on things, and it's very easy to read. His style is very easy to read. The final thing I want to talk about basically is from ABC News, and I just read this about 3 hours ago. Fascinating, and it comes out of one of these American think tanks, and it's called the Roosevelt Institute. Now, I don't know who they are. It says they're a non-partisan commission, and they're a financial commission. And what they do is they analyse things, and the two big players and thinkers that would be in this are the Nobel Prize winner Joseph Stiglitz and another lady who is a major player. I like her. She's a very forthright woman, and there's no bullshit out of her. Her name is Elizabeth Warren. And basically what they're saying, there's them and a group of other people, and they drew up this report, and they're basically saying that the heading of it is that another financial crisis is on the way, and what they're saying is because they're getting the money so cheap, these big banks in America are gambling on a huge level with this cheap money, and they're going to precipitate another crisis, another banking crisis, because of what their antics are about. Because it's just high-powered gambling. And I mean, if somebody's giving you money at next to nothing, and that's what they're getting, they get the money at next to nothing, they can't really lose, because if they lose, they're going to get more money. The whole thing, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. So it's a recipe for disaster as far as I can see, and I would agree with them. I mean, it's a big bubble. It's a big banking bubble again. And this man Obama, I don't know where he's getting his notions from, or who's giving him financial advice, but it's obviously seriously flawed, and it's obviously he's surrounded by these Goldman Sachs types, and sure, they don't care. They're only in it for one thing, as it says in this article, and Stiglitz says in this article, they're only doing one thing. They're only trying to bolster the share prices and give out the dividends to the shareholders, and in turn get themselves massive bonuses. That's all. It's like a casino game, except they're at the house. That's the difference. They're playing with your money, as it were. Not our money, but the American people's money, the American citizens' money. So have a read of it. I think it's fascinating. It's a very easy article to read, and just it points to the future. Anyway, listen, I want to deal with something tomorrow at length, and it's popped up in this evening's newspaper. I think it's very, very important. So I'm going to leave it. I don't have time to do with this one. So listen, I'm going to wish everyone the best. But have a read of that American article. It reads. There's a lot of truth in that article.